When I first came in there, my goal was to not tackle him onto Stu. I went in, I looked, I assessed, and I said, I have to pull him away from Stu. So that's why I went to the outside and got under an armpit and tried to throw him off to the side.
Hopefully one day I can meet Syko Stu and shake his hand and have a man-to-man with him and stuff like that. But who knows? But y'all, the people that know me, y'all know me. Y'all know I got mad love for everybody.
Stuart Smith isn't stepping back. He's now moving forward with legal action against Raja Jackson, calling the assault both unprovoked and unacceptable. On X, Smith announced, "I have officially filed a lawsuit against Raja Jackson. What he did to me was brutal, unprovoked, and it will not be ignored. This is about justice, accountability, and making sure it never happens again." Meanwhile, the pro wrestler who stepped in to stop Raja Jackson during that shocking attack has finally spoken out, breaking his silence on what actually went on inside the ring. On the other side, Rampage Jackson explained that his son had attended the wrestling event with his coach when suddenly a wrestler who didn't even know him struck him on the head with a can or bottle. Rampage said his son Raja kept calm and chose not to fight back because he had taught him not to react in those kinds of moments. Even so, Rampage admitted he was angry that anyone would do something like that. He added that when the wrestler later asked if his son would play along for the sake of the show, he found it ridiculous. Rampage said he even had to speak with his son's coach just to keep himself from losing control and getting into trouble over the incident.
This is what happened, chat. He went to a pro wrestling event with his coach. Those pro wrestlers, they be just as crazy as MMA guys, right? The pro wrestling guy don't know my son, and he hit him over the head with like a can or beer can or a bottle or something. And my son didn't know it didn't know it was coming. Didn't know. They didn't tell my son. And he hit my son over the head. I guess he thought my son was a pro wrestler or something. And Roger didn't react, but Roger didn't fight though. He didn't do anything, cause I told Roger not to get punched, but still nigga hit my son over the head. And then he asked my son, "You ain't gonna sell it when you in pro wrestling?" So this motherfucker that hit my son is stupid. So in order for me not to go to fucking jail, I gotta talk to his.
Moreover, Auden Ross voiced his anger over the entire situation, describing it as both disgusting and deeply disturbing. He stated that the platform kick must improve without delay, stressing that real policy changes are required. Ross added that certain staff members, along with moderators, should be held directly responsible for allowing this to happen.
There's no words, bro. There's absolutely no fucking words at all, bro. At all. It's disgusting. It's just disturbing, disgusting. And kick as a whole needs to do better, bro. Straight up, bro. Straight up. I'll just tell you guys this. I think that there needs to be some type of policy change. Some certain kick staff need to be held accountable. Moderation need to be held accountable. And there needs to be change immediately.
However, the pro wrestler who stepped in to stop Raja explained that he actually needed stitches from the incident. He said his main focus in that moment was to protect Stu. So he moved in from the side, slipped under Raja's armpit, and tried to shove him away. He recalled that Raja then attempted a double leg takedown, looking to gain control and possibly slam him on his head the same way he had done to Stu. The wrestler said he managed to lock in underhooks, keep him upright, and then used his body weight to drive him into the corner, neutralizing the situation.
Yeah, I got stitches right here. What happened was when I first came in there, my goal was to not tackle him onto Stu. I went in, I looked, I assessed, and I said, I have to pull him away from Stu. So that's why I went to the outside and got under an armpit and tried to throw him off to the side. And when I did that, if you look at the video, you could see him shoot for a double leg on me and try to take me down. He was working the whole time to try to get an advantage, get my legs, dump me on my head so he could do the same thing to me that he did to Stu. Or at least, attempt to, because I would have been awake. But that's what was happening. And then As I got some underhooks set in and I kind of held him up, I was working a position. And I was like, I'm going to roll this guy to the corner. As I started backing him up and using my weight to push him into the corner.
Furthermore, Rampage Jackson shared that he hopes to meet Syko Stu one day, shake his hand, and have a direct man-to-man talk with him. He added that anyone who truly knows him understands that he holds no hatred in his heart and carries love for everyone.
Hopefully one day I can meet Syko Stu and shake his hand and have a man-to-man with him and stuff like that. But who knows? But y'all, the people that know me, y'all know me. Y'all know I got mad love for everybody.
Dylan Dennis said it was hard to watch and suggested that Raja might have anger issues based on the way he slammed the wrestler. He explained that in professional wrestling, there is an understanding, a trust between performers, to keep each other safe when giving their weight during a move. Dennis described the slam as reckless and unnecessary, saying it looked less like part of the act and more like an attempt to cause real harm. He added that moments like this hurt the image of the sport because wrestling is supposed to be built on protecting one another, not inflicting damage.
To be honest, it's hard to watch, but in a way, it's like he might have something like wrong, like maybe like anger problems, because like why would he do that, you know? And anybody that has trained or anybody has a brain knows when someone's working or someone's like, and like that would be like me going with you right now and you're like, oh, I'm gonna pick you up and we're working, we're doing a WWE match. Like you could slam me in my head, like I'm giving you my weight, you know what I mean? So like the guy obviously let him pick him up, and then slamming him like that is ridiculous. First off, especially being a guy that's trained, I know he's only 0-1, but like slamming the guy like that first off is ridiculous. Like any person in WWE can do that to each other, you know. It doesn't, that's not anything like people are adding like, oh, that's Rampage Jr. or something like that. Like the guy jumped up for you to carry his weight and he's trusting you to take care of his body, you know what I mean? And then he's throwing those shots, and like I get you can kind of lay one in, like, you know what I mean? I can hit you like that, but the first one was like a fucking haymaker. He's trying to like kill the guy, and like it's just sad. Like I don't understand what happened. Like it's hard to explain what happened, and it looks bad for us too. You know what I mean? Like anybody could do that. Like I can go in the ring in WWE and do that to like why I do that? No, like you're supposed to have a trust, and that's a different sport. It's a pro wrestling, you know.
Streamer XQC said the incident looked like an attempted murder, explaining that moves like that carry the risk of killing someone instantly. He pointed out that people have lost their lives in street fights from far less, and called the act outrageous, stressing that the situation did not even end there.
You wouldn't convince me this is not attempted murder. That is how you kill somebody. We've seen people die in street fights all the time with things that weren't even that bad. This is outrageous, and it doesn't stop.
Brendan Schaub shared that his first reaction was to support Raja, mainly because of his close relationship with Rampage. But after watching all the footage and the full live stream, he admitted there was simply no way to defend what happened. He explained that the situation is extremely serious and could have long-term consequences for Raja's future. Schaub noted that if the pro wrestler decides not to press charges, Raja will still face heavy backlash online but might escape jail time. However, if charges are filed, he warned that Raja could be looking at serious accusations such as attempted murder or aggravated assault, which would make his position far more difficult moving forward.
And I'll be transparent. I like Raja, and obviously I adore Rampage. Me and Rampage have a great relationship. I love Rampage. And it's just by nature, my initial thought was when I heard about this, and I spoke with Rampage. When I heard about this, I went, all right, how can I defend Raja? I look at all the videos. I watched the full live stream and all that. I got nothing. Oh, I can't, you can't defend this. I see this. It's so sad. Because he was just getting started, and that all goes away if this veteran pro wrestler decides to press charges. If that pro wrestler goes, this was a bit or this was a work, and he just thought that's how it works, I'm not pressing charges, Raja's still going to take a lot of heat online, but you're not doing jail time. Then we can figure it out. But if that dude wakes up and somebody's in his ear and goes, dude, you got to make this dude pay. He has to learn a lesson, and he presses charges. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. Attempted murder, aggravated assault, it's going to be tough. Talking about felony.
Matt Brown stated that if Raja Jackson were not the son of Rampage Jackson, there would be absolutely no sympathy for him. He explained that the only reason some people are showing any forgiveness is because of the respect they have for Rampage. Brown emphasized that the footage leaves little to question, clearly showing the wrestler being slammed and struck multiple times without a chance to defend himself. He described it as a definite felony, possibly aggravated assault or even worse, and said Raja is lucky the victim walked away with only the reported injuries.
You know, if this was anybody other than Rampage Jackson's son, I don't think there'd be any empathy here at all. But we all love Rampage, and he's the man, you know. And the fact that he's his son, we're all sitting here like, bro, what the fuck, you know? And what do we think about this? You know, if it was just anybody else in the world, it'd be like, bro, throw that motherfucker, you know, in the cage and throw the key away, man. And that's probably what's going to happen to him. Like, you know, you say they're investigating, like, well, there's not a lot to investigate. Like, there's a video that shows it pretty goddamn clear, you know, what do we need to investigate here? So, you know, what's he going to get? You know, I don't know what like attempted murder is, but I mean, he was fucking knocked out and punching the shit out of him. You know, I don't know how far they go in there or what the details are to get that charge. Aggravated assault's for sure, battery, you know what I mean? Like, it's a felony for sure, right? I mean, there's I don't think there's any way out of that. So, you know, kind of just is what it is for him now. But like what a shitty move, man. You know, like, you want to fight the guy, fight the guy. Like, dude was like, you know, we watched the video right before the podcast here. You know, the dude was like preparing for a wrestling style a pro wrestling style takedown, and motherfucker slammed him on his head. Like, you know, dude's lucky that, you know, they said he's hospitalized, but man, he's lucky that that's all that happened.
Brown continued by saying that although many people want to stand with Rampage during this difficult time, the incident still requires accountability, and Raja must face the results of his actions. He called the attack both unnecessary and unjust, stressing that the victim never had a chance to defend himself. Brown also shared his hopes for the wrestler's recovery, especially given his past struggles and challenges. He added that only Rampage himself is in a position to ask for leniency, while everyone else should recognize just how wrong the act truly was.
The guy's all right, man. That's about all you can say at the end of the day, right? Hopefully the guy just heals up and, you know, with some PTSD or being a veteran and everything, man, you know, just hope that the guy turns out okay, man. Send him some positive energy and hope for the best. That's about the most you can say about it. Other than that, you know, again, loving Rampage, but, you know, hopefully justice is done and his son gets what he deserves. I don't agree with Sean on that at all. You know, like, the dude doesn't, like, it'd be one thing, you know, if like they got in a fight and he fucked him up and, you know, hurt him bad, right? But like, the dude was defenseless and then knocked out. Like, fuck him. And the only guy that should not be saying fuck him is Rampage, right? Because it's his son. And he's the one that should be saying, you know, can we just give him some help or something, you know, try to stick up for him. But everybody else, I mean, we have no reason to have any sympathy for that kind of.
The MMA guru gave a brutal assessment of Raja Jackson after the incident, calling him nothing more than a dumb animal who belonged in a cage. He voiced frustration that nobody stepped in the right way while it was happening, insisting that Raja should have been put down and knocked out cold right there inside the ring.
Bring that sparring partner back, tornado kick him again. Dumb animal. Brother, dumb animal, put him in a cage, straight up. Raja should have got fucking knocked out cold in that ring. No one was doing anything about it but that pink head.
Lee went on to slam the way the attack played out, saying Raja waited for hours before blindsiding the man while he was simply working in character and not expecting anything like that. He pointed to reports claiming the victim's heart actually stopped and that he stayed unconscious for several minutes, calling the whole situation extremely serious. Lee said Raja's choices showed a total lack of judgment and control, and he couldn't see how anyone could defend that level of violence. In his view, Raja needs jail time to accept responsibility and learn from it.
And if it's Rampage, I love Rampage. But Rampage, turn your son in. He got to go lay down for a little bit. Like, if it was my son, that's what I would tell him. I mean, you a grown man, bro. You can't condone that type of behavior, bro. You got to go lay down for a little bit. We'll get you a good lawyer. You ain't going to be in there forever. But you gotta go lay down. I get it. He hit you in the head with a bottle beforehand. I get it. He shouldn't have did that. I don't condone that either.
Tim Welch had a strong reaction to the incident, saying he could barely watch the footage because the victim looked completely out cold during the attack. He explained it seemed like Raja Jackson's goal was to cause serious harm, maybe even worse. Regardless of what his actual intention was, Welch called the act outrageous and impossible to defend. He stressed that consequences are necessary, especially since it happened live, and there were even claims that a reward was offered for a knockout.
Hours until the man was working, which we all understand he playing a character, and he was in character, and he working, and then you sneak him, because that's what you did. I mean, you snuck him. He wasn't expecting that, and you, bro, they say dude flatlined and was unconscious for 6 minutes afterwards. Dog gotta go lay down. You gotta go to prison, bro. There's no part of that you thought was cool. Like, I can't even wrap my mind around why you thought that was cool and why you ain't got no self-control.
Later, Welch added that things don't look promising for Roger Jackson, even with Rampage's money and top legal support. He explained the case could easily be treated as attempted murder, stressing the dangers of violent behavior and the need to avoid it, especially for anyone with a short fuse. Welch noted that while martial arts can protect you in defense, striking someone who is already knocked out puts their life in grave danger. He called the event disturbing and warned that decisions like this often end in prison.
12, 13, like what the f? I can't even watch this. The kid's blacked out. The kid's blacked out, and I think his goal right there was to murder. Maybe not. Maybe not. Blacked out, maybe he doesn't know what he's doing, but he damn near killed the man. That's crazy. He's got to get some punishment for this. There's just going to be no excuse. He's going to probably go away for a long while, especially on stream. He's on stream and he said 50 subs for a KO.
Derek Brunson weighed in on the matter, saying at first he assumed it was just part of the wrestling show. But once he learned the truth, he realized it was a very real and serious situation. He strongly criticized Roger Jackson's actions, calling them careless and unnecessary, and made it clear that nothing like this should ever happen. Brunson showed concern for the injured wrestler, wishing him a full recovery, and cautioned Raja that choices like this carry heavy consequences. He reminded that even small disputes can quickly spiral into major problems with lasting damage.
This isn't going to be good for old Raja. Rampage's got money. They're going to have some good lawyers. But it might be attempted murder. God, that's the thing. You got to be careful getting in street fights. If you can avoid street fights, avoid them. Especially if you got a temper tantrum. Maybe if you know a little jiu-jitsu and you get in a street fight here and there, it's okay. You can take care of yourself, get in a good position. But once you crack somebody and then you start seeing red and you're not thinking about what you're doing and you're punching them and they're already knocked out, good chance you're going to kill them. And now you might be in the pen.
Chael Sonnen also gave his take, admitting he didn't yet know every detail, but warning the matter could get far more serious if Syko Stu ends up with major injuries, such as a broken jaw or lost teeth. He noted that police already have clear video evidence of the attack, but explained they haven't proceeded further yet because they're waiting on Syko Stu to provide his official statement before making the next move.
All right, follow me real quick. When I first saw this, I thought these guys were playing. WWE hardcore match.
Oh, look at this. Mox has Mox. Oh!
Disqualification, but please.
No. After doing my research, this was definitely real.
Oh, you don't.
Unavoidable.
He's not a fucking worker, bro.
Should have never happened.
I apologize. I appreciate it. I didn't know. I thought you were a worker.
At the end of the day, I hope the wrestler that was hit and pummeled is okay. And for Roger, your actions were out of line, so you have to deal with some big boy consequences for this one. All of us can learn a little something from this. Don't let small situations escalate into bigger situations that will ultimately cost you.
Chael Sonnen also gave his take, admitting he didn't yet know every detail, but warning the matter could get far more serious if Syko Stu ends up with major injuries, such as a broken jaw or lost teeth. He noted that police already have clear video evidence of the attack, but explained they haven't proceeded further yet because they're waiting on Syko Stu to provide his official statement before making the next move.